Hello, everyone. I am super excited about today's guest. He is Matthew Carlson from Fix It Forward Auto and Fix It Forward Ministries. He has a significant background in giving cars away. A lot of you have expressed interest in doing that, and a number of our clients have done that before I reached out to him because we want to make sure that we are giving the most bang for their buck as far as people that are donating, and also that we're giving the best vehicle possible and the best value possible to those in need. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and introduce Matthew.
We did free auto repairs, and then we gave away cars for free. Then we started a shop to enable our nonprofit side, and then we've just grown since that.
Okay. No notepad.
I can get you one.
Yeah, we give me notepad. Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I've done a lot of nonprofit in my day. My balance has been doing enough business to pay for my nonprofit too, because at the end of the day, you can't give the whole farm away. You have to at least keep
Right.
one cow. So
It's exactly right. And so we've really focused a lot. Our whole motto is, grow the shop to grow the nonprofit. So we have to keep growing our business so that we can keep growing the nonprofit. And Shop Fix has been huge for us to be able to do that because we've had some pretty tremendous growth on the shop side, and then that enables us to keep growing on the nonprofit side.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah, so congrats on your business. We appreciate it. I have personally given away vehicles for wounded veterans. I've done it for um, as benefits to where we auction cars off, but I've never to the scale that you do it. And so I've done radio ads, Facebook blasts, and that kind of fun stuff. But I think that I'm leaving a lot out. And so we're hoping to give away a car on December 20th there in Hesperia, California. And we're hoping to get some pointers on ways to promote it, or just if you could share some of how you do it so that we can do it right.
Yeah. One thing, just so you guys know, I have done quite a few different breakouts on this in Shop Fix. So if you ever want to go through and watch any of those, they're all available on, you can just go to the Shop Fix page and search for my name, and you can look at the different car giveaway ones. So I got a lot of stuff I go on ideas for that. The big thing, as a business, we tend to focus on doing these at scale and making sure that we're trying to do the best we can, be the best, being responsible with our resources as best we can, right? And so in doing that, what we do is, in order to find people that we're going to give a car away, we partner with other agencies that are working with the people that we want to help. So in the case, like we primarily work with single moms because they're the ones in the most need, but we also work with veterans associations, mental health associations, people are coming out of recovery, people coming out of the jail system. Like we actually work with over 40 different social service agencies in our community that find the people, vet the people, and then bring them to us so that we can actually find a appropriate vehicle for them, connect them with that car, and get that car in their hands. And we do that. What it does is it takes a ton of the overhead out of trying to find the right people, and it stops us from having to put together some sort of a like where's the line that you draw when you're vetting people? Like, what's the income level that they have to be at? Well, I mean, that probably has something to do with the size of their family. Like, this is a big, complicated equation I don't want to deal with. I let the other organizations handle all of that. And then we say, okay, I want to give a car away to somebody where this is going to be life-changing for them. Like, we don't want to give a car to a grandmother so she can go to bingo on Tuesdays. I want to give a car to somebody who can't get a job because they don't have transportation. And so by giving them this car, they're going to be able to get the job. With the job, they're going to be able to get a place to live, and they're going to become self-sufficient. Like, that's the people that we're targeting. In my situation, I don't care if they're a single mom, a single dad, veteran, whatever. Like, we're just trying to help the people where the transportation is what's holding them back from being able to achieve self-sufficiency or maintain their self-sufficiency. There's people that are just, they have a job, they have a place to live, but they lost their vehicle. And if they can't get that replaced, they're going to lose everything we have. And so we work very tightly with a lot of different organizations now to feed us these people. And our goal right now, this year, our goal is to give away 10 cars a month. And we are slightly ahead in the middle of November, we're slightly ahead of track on doing that. So we're going to achieve the year with more than, we'll probably be at 125, 130 cars given away this year.
Nice. Congratulations. That's huge.
And the reality is we still turn away about half of the requests we get because we can't. So we could give away 250 cars a year and still not be able to meet the need of the community. So it's, we feel this constant obligation to do more, to give away more, and be able to help more, because there's so much need. But the question again is, just like our shops, the secret to success in shops is volume, right? And the ability to do volume is to be efficient in what you do. And if you don't have efficient systems and processes, you can't do high volume. If you can't do high volume, you're probably not going to have a very successful shop. And the same thing applies to the nonprofit side of what can we do to make this as efficient, easy throughput, so we can do this as frequently as possible, versus making this harder than otherwise. Now, the traditional way of giving away cars in the automotive industry, and I know this is the things that like Napa Car Care promotes, is to go out there and say, we're going to do a car giveaway. So we're going to go out to the news and we're going to say, nominate, anybody can nominate people. And then we go through all these nominations and we'll pick the best one. We ultimately end up picking the person who writes the best story. We don't know if they're the most deserving.
And we actually gave a car away last year, and that's how we did it too. That's funny. Not knowing what to do, we had a bunch of nominations. Then we found 3 outside people to go through these stories and kind of break it down and then pick one.
And it's a lot of work. It's very hard to vet people. It can be very overwhelming because you find there's so much need that the people that are reading these through, a lot of times the shop owners themselves are doing this and they're like, man, I want to be able to help everybody. They get frustrated. And it's, to me, there's an advantage of doing it that way, in the fact that you can get a lot of publicity by saying that we're taking nominations, and you get a lot of action of people filling that out, bringing their stuff to the shop. So there's the advantage of that. If your goal is purely marketing, that might be a better way of marketing it. You could get more marketing with less impact. But my goal is impact and be able to help the most people, and to be the best steward of the resources we have. So I want to find the best people to give it to. And that's where I feel like partnering with other organizations that can feed you the clients for the cars, and then you guys focusing on the car side, which is the part that you're good at, is far more efficient. And then what we do is we use social media and sometimes the regular news to just promote the fact that we're giving this car away, at the action of giving the car away. Having said that, we're also very, very careful within our organization to respect the client's privacy. And in our case, again, I said most of the cars we give away end up going to single moms. A lot of them, a disproportionate amount of them, are coming out of like domestic abuse situations.
Ours did too. Yes.
Yeah, we can't be saying, hey, see this lady that she's super needy and we're awesome because we're helping the super needy lady who can't afford a car, but this is the pretty car that we're giving her, and now her abuser knows exactly what car to look for. So what we do is we actually we have a form that we have, the referral form that the case managers fill out, and it says, hey, is this person, do we need to have discretion and privacy stuff? And if we need the privacy, we actually don't post a picture of the car. Normally we would post a picture of the car in front of our building and say, hey, our social media posts, you can go look at Fix It Forward Ministry on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. And our social media posts say, we want one. We want to talk about effective social media. We number the cars that we give away, and that was an accident, but it has been extremely effective because people. I mean, I see people on the street. They stop me and they're like, "What number of car are you on?" And like, and I've talked to people that we gave them a car, and they're like, years later, they're like, "My car was 243. Like that's the car that I got." Like they know that that number has become really important. So what we'll say is, we've given away car number 243. This, this older, Chevy Impala was donated by a couple whose parents passed away, and this is their mom's car. They didn't need it anymore, so they graciously donated to us. We fixed it up. If we can partner with anybody, we love tagging people because that's what makes social media stuff work, right? Maybe this organization helped donate something, or these people helped us fix it, whatever that might be. And then we'll say we're able to give this to a single mom who just got out of an abusive situation and is starting her life over, and now she's gonna be able to get to her job and bring her kids to work and blah blah blah. We don't say the name, we don't say any details, we don't have a picture of them. And if it's a situation where there is like actual risk, where they're worried about that, we actually, on the picture, we block out the car so you can't tell what kind of car it is. And honestly, those posts are more effective because people realize just how important this car is.
Right.
And so we'll go through now. If you want to get on the news, call up your local TV station or radio station, and they will come running to do one of these stories. We do this pretty frequently. But in that case, we really want to get permission to be able to, they want to see who's getting the car, and we want to get permission to do that. We will talk to, what we'll do is we'll talk to people up front, and and say, hey, we're working with say the local women's shelter, and we'll say, hey, we've got a car we want to give away, but they want us, we might be doing this on stage at some event, or we might be, the news wants to do this. Do you have somebody who's willing to share their story? And sometimes what we get somebody who's like, yes, this is the only real way that they can give back to us is by sharing their story, and say, yes, I would gladly do that. Most of the time they don't want to. And in that case, if they're willing to let us, we'll have a representative from that organization say, hey, can you come and explain the situation and be there, represent them on the news? We do that a lot. Again, tying other organizations together makes all this stuff more effective. The other thing that I really like to do, when we gave away our 500th car, we did it at, we always do like milestone number cars like that at events. We might host it, or we might go to find another event we can tie in with, car show or something like that. We did an event and we gave away the car. We'll give away cars to other nonprofits. And then we get a chance to tell that nonprofit story. They can talk about how impactful this is for them. And so like your local homeless shelter might be really struggling because they need a vehicle to move people around with. The one we gave away, our 500th car, we actually gave them 3 vehicles. At that event, we gave away car 498, 499, and 500 to a nonprofit. They weren't new, but they were starting a new thing where they were transporting kids to after school events who couldn't otherwise get to them. So you can't play sports after school if you can't get there. They were getting vans so they could bring these kids to these. And it was a known nonprofit that was starting this thing. We gave them 3 vans so they could start doing that right away. Then we can talk about, they never say no, because in their world, this is visibility, right? That they really want. So,
wow, I love pulling in other organizations, and I have never thought about giving a vehicle to another organization. I think that's fantastic.
Honestly, it's the most effective thing you can do, Because if you give that car to a family, you help one family. You give that car to an organization, you're going to help hundreds of families.
Yeah.
And so we never, we partner with all these organizations, but whenever one of them asks for a car themselves, we never say no to that. It's just so impactful and so effective.
That's awesome. Josh, do you have any questions, buddy?
Okay, now when you're giving two things, one, where are you finding cars at? Because I'm having an issue finding cars right now. We got like there was a guy that has this auction up the street, and he was like, "Oh yeah, here's 5 cars," and then we've been trying to get these 5 cars, and every time I try to go pick him up, he's not there, and no one else knows what's going on. So we've been having an issue with that. And two, is there a age limit or a shit limit that there is to on giving these cars away?
Yep, on both ends. Okay, so let's start with how do we find cars? The most shops I talk to start out by giving away their old loaners or cars that people left there that they don't want anymore, and they'll be like, "Yeah, I don't want to fix this car. You guys can just have it. Hey, we'd like to give it away. Can we get the title for it?" What you'll find is once you start giving away cars, and especially if you start a nonprofit arm in order to do this, because we have a separate entity that does our nonprofit side. So it's a tax deductible donation. We've never bought a car. All the cars are donated to us, and we get about twice as many cars donated as we give away. So we currently have 60 some cars sitting in our parking lot. If you were closer, I'd let you have some.
Where are you located?
I'm in a trailer. Don't tempt me. It's a good time.
I'm in Fargo, North Dakota, so I'm a little ways away from everything.
I went to Montana to get a transmission for a customer. Hey, we're that shop that'll make it happen.
But the reality is, once you start giving away cars and you start saying that somebody donated, like the most of the cars that we get come from, it's a grandparent that passed away. They don't need it. It was a college car, kid's car, and they moved out, or they don't need it. They're not buying a new car. Those are the typical situations. We're downsizing. There's a lot of people who have cars that they no longer want and they don't know what to do with. And when they find out there's a way for them to get rid of that car and that would have a positive impact, and especially the biggest problem is mom's car, dad's car when they pass away. They don't want that car, but they also have an emotional attachment to that car. And so when giving away that car can continue their legacy, it's like they don't even hesitate. They like, please let me. So that's the tricky part, is getting people to see that this is something they can do with the car. So this is once you start posting things online and talking about this, or in the news talking about, hey, we're giving away this car and it was donated by this person, and they see this opportunity, then people will start coming out of the woodwork to get rid of like we gave away, when we started by just fixing cars, and then somebody donated a car to us, we fixed it, gave away, and then more cars started coming in, and we gave away 12 cars in the first 12 weeks, 12 cars in 12 weeks. And we thought, this is amazing that we're getting these cars donated, but there's a backlog, and we're going to run out of cars. We end up giving away 56 cars in the first 52 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
And we have always gotten more cars than we could give away. We scrapped, like I say, half the cars that we get, a seller scrap. And so you will, as you start doing this and publicizing it, you will get a reputation, as long as you say, hey, we are looking for cars that people might want to be getting rid of, that they want to go, that we can give away and give to us. And what we do, our rule is, we will take any car donated to us. We will only fix it and give it away if it's practical to fix and practical for them to use based on our judgment. So if it needs a motor and a tranny and it's a 2002 Grand Prix, like we're not doing it. We generally don't do major repairs on anything unless it's a really, if it's a super nice clean minivan and it needs a relatively inexpensive motor or transmission, then we might do it. But most of the time, as a rule, we don't. But we'll take anything, because what you'll find is if people want to donate a car, some people will come in and they will say, this car is so nice, it's gonna be a perfect car for somebody. You bring it in, it's so rusty, it hardly runs, it leaks everywhere, barely drivable, not safe to drive. The next person will say, I don't know if you'll want this. They bring it in, they're like, look, it's got a scratch on the passenger door that's 3 inches long and the tires are only half life. I don't know if this is good enough, right? And so don't ever take anybody's word for it. Just have them bring the car in. If they want to donate the car, their perception of the car is skewed.
Right.
Now the question on the bar of what we'll give away, it's my goal is that I want a car that I think, well, one, it's got to be safe and reliable, right? So no lights on the dash, no broken windshield, all the safety stuff working, decent tires on it. Like that's a minimum bar. I won't give away a car older than 1996 because they're so damn hard to fix. Nobody will work on them anymore. I don't care about mileage. I care about condition. My goal is to have a car that I think will last at least a year for them. And I don't know that, of course, but we're not trying. I know there's another guy that does this that I've talked to. He's down in Texas. He fixes up. He's a big Toyota guy. And so he takes Toyota minivans and he makes them like new and he gives them away. And it takes him 6 months to make a van like new. And he's replacing parts that aren't even bad. He'll put a new alternator on it because it's got 100,000 miles on it. He wants this thing to be perfectly reliable and like new. I'm not a fan of that. I don't think that's being good stewards of our resources. And the reality is a disappointing number of cars that we give away are smashed within the first 6 months, right? These people don't have cars for a reason, and sometimes it's their driving ability. And so I would, again, I want to give them a car that's going to last 1 to 2 years. And then if it lasts longer than that, great. But I'm not trying to make a car that's going to last forever. We also won't give away a car that I think is a liability and not an asset. Like we don't give away Audis. Like they can't afford to fix them. We don't give away convertibles. We don't give away sports cars. We do get those hybrids. We will absolutely. I don't see an increased amount of maintenance in a hybrid, and the efficiency is better. So our rule is, like, if we think it's going to be a high maintenance vehicle, it's just not practical. We don't want to give away that. We will sell those and use that money to buy more parts for the next car. And so that's our approach with that. So we'll take them in, but we tell people up front, we're going to sell these cars and we're going to use it to pay for a car that's more practical. You don't, giving somebody an old high mileage Audi is not a nice thing to do.
Even a low mileage Audi, the repair is just more than most people are going to realistically handle.
The other problem that we have found is occasionally we get people donating really nice cars, and it's maybe only a 5-year-old vehicle with not a lot of miles on them. The problem with that is most people can't afford the tax, title, and insurance on those cars. And so, contrary to popular belief, our favorite vehicles are, 15-year-old Chrysler minivans and 15 to 20-year-old GMC sedans. I mean, I certainly don't want to drive one myself, but as far as as practicality, they're not super reliable, but they're super cheap to fix, and anybody can fix it. And they don't have a lot of common, like the GMs especially, don't have a lot of common transmission or engine issues. So it's going to have problems, but it's going to be tie rod ends and batteries and water pumps. They're all cheap. So we're not looking for new vehicles, because we just actually had this week, we donated a car to or somebody, and they ended up giving the car back because they couldn't afford insurance on it. Now, as it turns out, that reason was because they had some DUIs and they didn't realize insurance was going to cost them $800 a month or whatever it is. We can't fix that, but we can say, hey, if we get a car and the car is worth $20,000, we're probably going to sell that car and fix 10 other cars, instead of giving somebody a car that they just can't afford to put title insurance on.
All right. Now, is your nonprofit profitable? Like, does it pay for itself, or do you have to get a lot of outside?
Well, so my nonprofit doesn't charge for any of the services it does.
Okay.
So it has to fundraise for everything. So we do multiple fundraiser years to pay for the parts. We're at a scale right now where we actually have 3 full-time employees and 1 part-time. And that part of it is that costs money. And then we pay a lot of money in parts every month because we're fixing a lot of cars. We don't just give away. We also have the we fix cars for people in need also. We fix as many cars as we give away. So while we're giving away about 10 cars a month, we're fixing 10 cars a month. That's a lot of money in parts right there also.
Okay. So it's from silver to things.
So we do have to raise money for that. My shop does not pay for it.
Okay.
We do fundraising. Now, I'm the biggest donor. It doesn't come through the shop. It goes through me. I'm the biggest donor to the nonprofit, but one of my goals, having talked to a lot of nonprofit people who run nonprofits, including churches, is they say the number I hear is 20%. They don't ever want to have 20% of their income coming from a single source because they need to diversify for stability. So if you're the only person that's putting money into this, if you want to do this at scale, like if you want to give away 1 car, give away 1 car. If you want to be able to do this at some sort of scale where you're continuously doing this over a long period of time, and you're the only person putting money into this, if something happens and your shop stops being profitable, then your nonprofit dies.
Right.
And I don't ever want to be in that situation. I want, if something happens, and I know this, I've got a friend who has a restaurant. His wife got cancer. Everything falls apart because him and his wife and his daughter were like 50% of the workforce. Everything that they did fell apart. Like, I don't want my nonprofit to die because something happens to my shops. Now, we've built our shops up to a scale where I don't really have a lot to do with the day-to-day. But again, we want to be smart and diversify. Something could happen that I can't foresee that could make us not profitable for a period of time. And I don't want to have to let go of all my employees, my nonprofit employees.
Their owners.
And Matt, do you have someone that you'd recommend in drawing up the 501c3?
I do. I haven't used them personally, but another shop fix shop used them with a lot of success, and they highly recommended them. I can send you. I have to go find it. I'll send you the link. What he told me was when he set this up, they gave him a form to fill out. He filled out the form. They created. You have to incorporate to do an LLC or to do a nonprofit. You can't do an LLC. So there's a little bit of headache. You have to have a board and stuff like that. And then they filed all the 501c3 paperwork, and it was like he didn't touch anything. Like, he filled out the little form. They did all the work. He was super happy with them. So I'll find that link. He actually just gave me that link a few weeks ago. And maybe it was at the Mexico trip. He sent it to me. I can send that information.
Thank you.
Now, your nonprofit has its own repair shop?
Nope. My nonprofit uses my regular for-profit shops after hours.
Okay. All right.
That's why the regular shops exist. One of the biggest challenges when we were just a nonprofit is it's virtually impossible to get any type of garage keepers insurance as a nonprofit. They calculate your cost based on how many employees you have, technicians you have, and what your monthly revenue is. And when the answer to both of them is zero, they have no way of insuring you. As a for-profit shop, you can say, I'm working with this nonprofit. Most insurance companies will give you a rider for that nonprofit to cover them and cover the work that's done there in your shop. And they don't even charge me anything for it.
Right. Okay.
Did
the nonprofit pay the for-profit? Or does that too costly? Does that skew the numbers on the profit side?
For what?
Like repair. So the nonprofit. So if I start 501c3, get some cars, and then I have the nonprofit have the profit repair the cars for the nonprofit. Starting up, I'm saying wise until we get further along, having the nonprofit pay for, or do I just have the profit side just kind of eat it a little bit, and or am I thinking too far ahead?
Well, there's a lot of ways that you can do this, right? And so there's not necessarily a right or wrong answer to this and how you want to organize it and how you grow. Where we're at right now, I can tell you that we utilize volunteers to do most of our nonprofit work. And so after hours, we have volunteer teams come in. Some of those people are our employees, our technicians that will volunteer to come fix a car every once in a while. We do it every Saturday. We're at one of our locations fixing cars. We kind of rotate around a little bit. But that's, we can only fix easy cars. We work in 4-hour blocks. We can only do small tasks with that. If it's something that's if we feel like we want to do a timing chains on a vehicle, or, maybe swap a tranny out, it's a bigger job, then our nonprofit does pay the for-profit for the labor. But they pay at basically an at-cost rate, so that we actually, one, it helps our nonprofit get some of these more complex jobs out. Two, it gives our for-profit work to do if we have a slow time. So we had a week in September where one of my shops was really slow, and I think we had 4 nonprofit cars there that same day, and they're just knocking out these big tasks. The service advisors don't get any real commission off of it because there's nothing, but the technicians get paid, and happy techs are important, and the service advisors understand that.
And Josh, you're going to be amazed at how people will want to help. And so, strangely enough, I gave away a van last month, my company, and it wasn't publicized at all or anything like that, but it was just a guy that we knew that was down on his luck. He wrecked his other car, and so he wasn't able to get to work. And so I talked to an old retired mechanic that actually lives in my neighborhood, and just said, hey, this is what we're up against. And I knew another lady that was going into a rest home that had a van that needed some work. And so between us all, we were able to get that van on the road and serviceable, and gave that to that family last week, actually. Nice. And it was all done with volunteer work. People just wanting to help people. It's amazing the expertise you're going to find if you just start reaching out.
Nice. We found, if you want to do it the volunteer route, what we found has been very effective is working with local churches. They tend to have men's groups that want to get involved with that. Most of the time you can get your team involved in that. The other thing that we utilize a lot, and this is especially if you want to do this if you want to do this continually, do this at some sort of scale, we work with the local schools. So we've got 2 tech schools in our community that do automotive tech training, and then we've got 2 high schools that have automotive programs, and we feed all 4 of them cars. We give them the cars and the parts, they fix the cars, they give them back to us, we give them away. And what they've found is their students love this because they're actually doing something meaningful. They get to see that car given away, and we'll say, hey, thanks a lot. This car was fixed by M State Tech Program, and then donated by this person, is going to this. They get some acknowledgement. It allows us to tie more of that stuff in, and the students get more meaning and purpose to their education. It's especially great in the high school programs.
Okay, so you do use the high school ones too?
Yep, we do
Okay.
2 different high school programs. We give them, easier jobs, but what we try and do with the high school programs is find a car. Sorry, somebody tried calling me. It screwed up my Zoom here. There we go. We tried. We'll find a car that's got a bunch of little stuff wrong. Man, this thing needs all the inner and outer tie rod ends and ball joints and brakes and light bulbs and a battery, and so that way we haul it in. We can haul it in there. They can work on it over a period of time, and then when they're done, we bring it back.
All right. And then I lost my question. Oh, I had a question. So we got this car, 09 Scion XB. I did a quote on it. A customer decided they were going to call pick apart, and I said, I give $50 more than what pick apart offers. So I got this thing for $550, right? We were going to use it for a giveaway. While we've been, I did oil change to the motor mounts. I did brakes on it, driving it around. Things going through a quart of oil every 500 miles. Now, if I hadn't been driving it around, I would have, polished up the turd and given it away. They would have blown the engine in a couple months tops. How would you have handled a situation like that?
Yeah. So we have that. We have a thing where if the car we give away has a catastrophic failure within the first 6 months, we get, or 3 to 6 months, depending on the situation, we give them another car. And we actually cover the title transferring cost for that, because if it was at no fault to them. So the core piece of what you're saying is, just to be clear, we have a money back guarantee on every car we give away. So if we give them a car, we will give them every penny they gave us back. If it fails, like, this isn't our responsibility. Ultimately, we can't guarantee these cars, but we do try, and if something happens to it right away that we were unable to foresee, we try and get them a different car. But if you don't have another car, then you can't give them another car, and it's like, well, we did everything we could to help you, but we can't be held liable for the fact that there's a problem with the car that we couldn't foresee. There's no liability in that, and you're giving away used cars; they're going to break.
Right.
We've had some irritated recipients of cars saying, "I just want you to give me a car that won't break." I'm like, well, those don't exist. That's the reason why we have auto repair shops, because all cars break. Even my brand new cars break. This isn't a thing, and so, but because we have a lot of cars that we can give away, we give them another car if it fails catastrophically.
So, you mentioned money back guarantee. They can return a car. You said someone couldn't afford their insurance. How does that work? They just bring it back and you say, "Here's your money for the title fee that you paid," or
no, it's that was sarcasm. They didn't pay anything for it, so I don't give them anything back. We gave them a car for free. They can give us the car back if they want. There's what amazes me is the situation you're talking about is the exact situation that every used car dealership is going through. And the reality is they're not liable for something they couldn't know about. We don't have any liability to this. We're trying to catch these things. We can't catch all of them. There's no way you could have told that the car was known that car was going to burn oil. Hey, we did our best. We can't be, we've done what we can.
Because I don't, and of course, in today's world, I'm going to sit here, I'm going to start a 501c3, I'm going to have all these cars, I'm going to start giving them away. People are like, oh, they gave me a car and it died in a month. Oh, they gave me a car and it died in 6 months. Oh, they're giving away polished shit cars. Like, now no one even cares about getting a car from us, right?
Well, almost. We certainly have had people say that. We've had people, they only give away cars that break. Again, all cars break. We have people out there with bad attitudes. That mindset is exactly why they're begging for cars and not just going out and buying a car.
That is who they are at the very core.
It is who they are. There will be haters out there. But the reality is, we've never had anybody say, well, I don't want a free car because somebody else said the car they got broke. So it doesn't, I mean, it's an unfortunate thing. My Google reviews in my shops, we have 5 shops. They are all 4.8 or 4.9 star Google reviews. My nonprofit is like 4.5. It doesn't charge anybody for anything. It burns me a little bit, but that's just the reality of the world that we live in.
I appreciate you sharing this because we had a hard time. So EC Auto, we gave away a car, and the girl came back for an oil change price maybe 3 months later and left a 1-star review because it was more expensive than the one down the street.
Yeah,
a car that she had just been given.
Right. No. Some people have gratitude problems. Some people, we had one person mad because the car we gave him, the radio didn't work. Like, we don't fix radios. Sorry, man. But having said that, one of our bigger problems is that when we give away a car, and like I said, we give away 10 cars a month. We give away a car, we hand them the keys, they go out to the car and they just sit in the car. And we're like, why isn't the car not starting? Is it not running? What the hell's wrong with it? And it turns out they're sitting in their car and they're crying because they can't drive because they're crying so much because they never thought they were going to be able to get a car. And this is so life-changing. So we have people, our brand for our nonprofit and our for-profit is very similar. It's Fix It Forward Auto Care and Fix It Forward Ministry. It's very recognizable. And we get people stopping us in restaurants and grocery stores and everything, telling us all the time how much of an impact this made, how it changed their sister's life, how it changed their cousin's life, and how impactful this is for people. And it really does make a difference. There's the 1% or 5% of whiny, bitchy people. What I keep telling myself, there's a whole group of people out there who think Shop Fix is a scam too. And they can have that horrible attitude while they struggle to pay their bills. I'm going to keep killing it.
That's, that whole thing of people with the wrong mindset. We went to a Napa dinner on Friday night, and they brought all the shop owners that are Napa stores, over there. And we're new to the area. We're about a year and a half, just over a year and a half. Actually, no, we're almost another week, 2 weeks, we'll be 2 years open here in this area. And we came out of left field from, we had our original shop, 60 miles away. So we just opened up and did the Shop Fix way and advertised and became successful. We hit 100K in like 4 months and did 1-2 the first year. So no one knows who we are. And all these other shops have been here 40 years have been like, who are these people? So this is the first event we've done with other shops. We go somewhere. And the other shop owners were like, oh, how long have you been here? We're like, oh, year and a half. Like, we've been here 40 years. We know what we're doing. You're just sitting here, blah, blah. And we're just like, okay. Yeah, that it's okay. I talked to, and that was one guy, and then the other guy I talked to, he just bought a shop. Well, it's been like 6 or 7 years now, but he's been at this shop forever. It's been open for 40 years, and he just started coaching group 3 months ago. He goes, yeah, I told him I'm giving him 6 months, and I'm out. And so I was, talking to him days and this and numbers. He goes, well, I have 6,000 client list, and we're not trying to screw people. And I was like, and you're not going to stay in business. I'm sorry.
Which will screw people because they thought they were going to get a warranty and they won't because they went out of business.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know about other areas, but I know that the Napa Car Care group in our community is the least successful shop owners in town. And I know some people that are in that. They hate me. And like, I've given away 650 cars in our community. We've fixed over 1,500 cars for people in need, and they somehow think that I'm cheating the system because they've been doing, like you say, they've been doing this for 40 years and they're doing $1 million a year. And I've been here for less than 8 years and we did 1.3 million last month. And so they're like, well, obviously I'm doing something wrong instead
You're
of
obviously screwing the customer over if you're
right.
actually making money.
Yeah. I mean, I'm cheaper than they are, but they don't, they're just super inefficient. They don't understand it. So,
Exactly.
but you can't fix that. You can't fix that. And that's, I don't like, we keep doing good because we can. And I don't really listen to the haters on that stuff. I've had people tell me that what I'm doing is stupid. It's a waste of time. I should be focusing on my shop so I can actually grow my shop and not focusing on all this nonprofit. It attracts all the wrong people. I've had all these people say this stuff. I've never had a single person say that was more successful than me.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Our goal for next year, our goal originally for this year, and then we're going through some growth hurdles, but I think we're getting to that. Our goal is to give away a car a month.
Nice.
That's our beginning goal. We gave away a car at our grand opening last year. We're doing one December this year. We're actually way behind on what our car giveaway goal is, but we just got backed up from growth. So our goal is to somehow give away a car a month next year. So we're starting off in December, and we want to go from there. Now I've got 2 cars right now. I got an 02 Dodge Neon that needs a trans in the trendy shops that they built it for us. All right, cool.
Nice.
And then I've got 08 Prius that needs a paint job. I just had the hybrid battery rebuilt. So, I mean, are those acceptable?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay. 100%.
Now, if a car looks shitty, has clear coat or whatever, do you have a paint shop that you will spray it for you, or do you don't even care? It looks like crap. Oh well.
Yeah, we don't paint cars. If it's a clear coat coming off, it's clear coat coming off. If it's too rusty or if it's body damage, we sell it and get rid of it.
Right. Yeah.
But we don't. It's so expensive to try and paint cars, and usually, if they do a cheap job, it's so poor it doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah, the first car we gave away, there's a body shop that we work with that does a whole bunch for the community, and they painted it for free. And we did we had the parts donated from the parts place, and then we did all the work, and we gave this car away. So the body shop, I know if I gave them the Prius that needs the clear coat, they just do a quick shoot on it so it can look pretty when it goes away. Like I said, we found this transmission shop that said they'll build the transmission for all this. So I'm starting to get these other businesses that'll
absolutely.
But I'm like, well, I don't want to paint every car, right?
No.
You can't get through it, but it's just what I have right now.
What I would be doing with the body shop is I still wouldn't have them painted, even if you think they would. I would reserve that because you're going to hit the limit of what they can do. I would reserve that for, hey, we've got this car with a smashed up bumper cover. I can go get a junkyard bumper cover for $50. Can you paint it to match? That's the stuff I'd be having them do. We've had a lot of cases where we've got cars that are mostly good. They just need a body panel or a door or something like that. We can go grab one from a junkyard. If you got somebody who can paint it to match close enough, that would be where the value I think they could really add is.
Okay, that's perfect. So don't worry about the clear coat then.
Yeah, we tricked out a truck for a veteran. He brought it in and it was limping, and we turned it back around, but we put a paint job on it. And like you say, we burnt up all of our credit, so to speak, with that partner.
Well, the reality is, like you said, you can't give away every cow, right? And there's a limit to what people can do, and we don't want to be taking advantage of that. We want to use it for the most impactful way. So, it makes sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I really appreciate your time. It's because we were concerned about giving away 02 Neon or a 08 Prius, and so
the Prius to me is an absolute no-brainer. That is about as low maintenance of a vehicle as a person can get, as practical of a vehicle. It's also as bland and vanilla of a car as you can drive, but that's okay. The Neon, for us, we'd absolutely give away an 02 Neon as long as we felt like the car was tight, and we shake down the car.
Yeah.
If it's got lights on, if it's got loose tie rod ends, that all gets fixed. So it should be a decent car.
Yeah, the transmission came, it got towed in. Guy somehow ran out of transmission fluid, is locked up. I got it to go forward, but it doesn't go backwards. Trans shop, they said they'd build the trans. All right, cool. So I'm not out any money there. It needs motor mounts. Interior is really clean. Outside is a little bit of clear coat. I was like, this could be it's 4-door. So what better can you want?
Yeah, I'd begin with that.
Yeah. All right, cool. Oh yeah. See. Can I get your email address or?
Yeah, it's just Matt at shopfixacademy.com.
Okay.
That's the easiest one. Or Matt at fixitforwardautocare.com, but ShopFix is a little bit easier to spell.
Matt, thanks for taking the time. I greatly appreciate this.
No, I love doing this. I'm working right now, so please send me an email. Find me on Facebook. I'm working right now on trying to put together a group of shop owners that are giving away cars. We've got, Bill and Sandy Long have given away over 80 cars now. Pete, I pronounce his last name, Traviner, whatever it is. The guy out, he's the guy with the dreadlocks that he rolls up in a ball on his head.
I know him, yeah. And so then TJ Crosby down Vista, he gives away a bunch of cars too.
Yeah. Pete's given away 58 cars now. I don't know where TJ's at. I know he was giving away cars before I ever started. TJ is. But I'm trying to get together a group so we can learn off of each other. I actually created a Facebook page a while back, just for us to post stuff like that. I've got about 70 people on that, but we haven't been really active. I need to. I was at the conference 2 weeks ago, and then I was in Mexico with ShopFix last week, and I was talking with a lot of people about this. There's a lot of people that are really getting interested in doing this, and I want to get a group of people working together so they can learn from each other, get ideas from each other. And so we'll probably use maybe the Facebook page as that, and maybe have some sort of, I don't know if we'll do a panel thing. I think at the next Hackers, we'll do another breakout type session on it. We've done that. I've done it a couple times at Hackers, but it's been a couple of years. So I like doing it at Hackers because I can hit all of the people at once. Yeah. Where everybody can attend versus having it broke down and not everybody being there. So,
all right. Does your nonprofit have a separate physical address than your profit?
Nope.
Okay.
Same address.
Okay. I'm just trying to. There's a building next door that our landlord has that he could give to us real cheap. But I was like, I can make this into a whole nonprofit little building. So I was just curious about that.
Yeah, TJ Crossman actually has a room in his shop where people come and drop stuff off all the time, all year.
Yes, that's a huge ass room. Have you seen it?
Yeah, it's crazy.
We have offices in some of our shops that our nonprofit people work in. So there are, with my 5 shops, 2 of them have nonprofit people working there 40 hours a week. And so that we've got representatives there, but we don't have separate space. We don't need it. I don't want to. The big thing is I don't want to have to buy lifts and buy equipment when we already own all this equipment and it sits empty, idle so much of the time.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about office space / an area. I don't know.
The office space. For office space, there's absolutely a value in having its own office space. If you don't have something within that office, you have another opportunity. Absolutely. We have shops that have extra office space, so that worked out for us.
Okay, so we talked about giving away cars. Now, free repairs or discounted repairs? How does that work? If you have time, do you have time?
Yeah, we do free repairs. It's the same exact process. They need to be referred. We don't. We're very selective as to what we do. So they bring a car in. We will, if we don't think the car is worth fixing, we don't fix it. We fix things based on what we think are the most important for safety reasons.
Safety reasons.
Not necessarily what they want. They might come in wanting air conditioning fixed and the tie rod line's about to fall off. We're fixing the tie rod end, not the air conditioning. We actually don't do anything that we consider luxury, and that means radios, body work, and air conditioning. We don't do air conditioning for the nonprofit side. There's a few exceptions to that rule, maybe, but as a whole, we don't do that.
Now, what if it's like 120 degrees outside in the middle of summer? You still wouldn't do an air conditioner?
I'm in Fargo, North Dakota.
I'm in Southern California, so
we fix heaters. We don't fix air conditioners.
Okay.
You could probably skip on the heater. Maybe you need the air conditioner.
Right. Okay.
But I mean, it's just it's not necessary here, so it might be more necessary for you.
Okay. That's perfect. Awesome. All right. Yeah.
The only time I've ever seen 120 degrees was in Southern California, and I think you guys are crazy. And so, yeah, I'll keep my cold winters for over that. So,
yeah.
I couldn't believe when I had a drink from a fast food place and the top melted on my drink. I'm like, what the hell are you guys doing here? This is not right. So anyway.
My shoes melted during Ironman in, let's see, May. It was ridiculous. They melted. There, you can't wear them again.
That's crazy. Yeah. So anyway, we're selective as to what work we'll do. Even things like if the power seat doesn't work on a car, we might just plug the computer in and drive it to where it needs to be and then leave it. Like, we want to be good stewards of the resources we have, but it's the same thing. We also, like, you got to wait, you get in line. That's just how it is. If you want your car fixed fast, you're gonna have to pay for it. If you want it fixed for free, it's gonna take us a little while because we got a lot of people who want their car fixed.
Yeah. Now, is there a certain turnaround time you try to get for a free repair? Like they drop it off on a Monday, you might get it that month, or you might get it that week.
Well, we don't drop it off until we're ready to work on it. So we don't store cars for people. Okay. So what we'll do is we've got a waiting list. We try and keep our waiting list within 6 weeks so that they never have to wait more than 6 weeks for the car to get repaired. Okay. Usually we're closer to 4. But then we tell them when we're going to be able to work on their car, and they can bring their car in the day before, and then they get back as soon as it's done. We try and get it done the next day when we're working on it, but sometimes we can't get parts. But we don't store cars for people. That logistically there's a liability to that, as you know. We have limited parking. I just don't want anything to do with that.
Okay. Do you give a loaner to those people getting their free repairs?
Never.
Okay. I figured I just want to verify.
Well, it's a good question to ask. So I'm a shop fix coach, right? And one of the guys I coach gave away a car. And while he was in Nashville at the last conference, his team, the car that they gave away recently had a problem, and his team drove an hour to bring them a loaner car and then had the car towed back to the shop. And I'm like, under no circumstance, this person had no car before. You gave them a car. They can live without a car for a little while. We never, ever, ever give them loaner cars. Those are for our paying customers so that we can pay the bills. And the reality is we've had enough problems getting our loaner cars back from people. If they've got no other car, why would they ever bring it back?
Right.
So yeah, under no circumstances.
Yeah. All right. Perfect. Yeah, I think that covers that. Now, the charities and whatnot that you work with, you just go out there and start knocking on doors and saying, hey, this is what we're doing. You want to get in on it?
Yep, 100%. What I did was find a couple that you really are passionate about. Like we started with women's shelter. The word will get out really fast and other people will start approaching you. We never knock on doors anymore. They're knocking on our door now.
Okay, perfect.
And then we're selective. Like we just did the women's shelter for like a year because that's all we could have the throughput for. And then once we caught up with that, then we went to another group and we worked with them until we could do more than that. And even now we've got, I think there's 5 people that want to work with us, and we're like, we don't have the throughput. If we add you guys into the system, we're just going to be declining a higher percentage of the cars. We can't do any more. So if we sit like that, the organizations that you want to work with are organizations that have a high touch with their customers, their clients, that work with them for a long period of time and know them well, not organizations that are very low touch. So the homeless shelters, where like the women's shelters, where they're doing all the counseling and training and stuff like that, those are great. Food people are food shelves are horrible. We worked with Head Start for a little while. That was awful. We thought it'd be great because Head Start, they're working with kids who can't afford early childhood education, but they don't provide transportation, so they have a lot of transportation issues. The reality is their bar for getting into Head Start is really high, so that we'd have people that are making $60,000-$70,000 a year and didn't want to pay to fix their car, wanting us to fix it for them or give them a new car, and that was not so. We really want to find organizations that work very closely with their clients and know them really well.
Right.
And not all and that goes with churches too. We work, like myself and the co-founder go to different churches. My church, when somebody comes in and they might even just walk through the door and say, "Hey, I need help," they immediately say, "Okay, here's an organization we support that can help you." They don't do it directly. They send them to that organization. They're horrible for us to work with because they don't know the people at all. I go to a very large church too. My friend's church, they have deacons that sit down and work with the people, and they know that they get to know the people really well, and they try and help them in these different ways. And then they might say, "Hey, this person really needs a car." We absolutely take referrals from them.
Right.
So it's how they're set up.
Right. Donors. How did you start finding donors? Same things, knocking on doors. "Hey, we're doing this. Reckon you need some money? You want help get some cars fixed?"
Yeah, churches are again great for this stuff.
Okay.
Talk to the churches. They'll once they see what you're doing, they'll try and find ways to get people involved.
Okay.
We started this. What we found is if you can bootstrap yourself, once you start giving away a few cars and build the reputation, then it's way, way easier to get people to donate money to you.
They will come.
Yeah, if you're asking for any real amount of money, if you're not asking for a significant amount of money, it's not worth your time to hunt these people down and talk to them. If you're asking for a real amount of money, you got to prove that you're actually going to do something great with that money. And so having a little bit of proof makes it a lot easier.
Perfect. Yeah. As of right now, I think that's all I've got. I really appreciate your time, and I've got a couple pages of notes here, though.
So Josh, awesome. When we started our special needs rodeo, and we bootstrapped everything, but at the same time, you find certain people that are connected in the community, nonprofit boards, they all know each other. And so they're also a great resource. And so if you find just a couple of champions, they'll get in there and do a lot of this work for you just for free, just passionately. It's awesome.
One other piece along the exact same line, when we started working with the women's shelter, we said, "Hey, we'll give you guys cars." They immediately said, all the people that tried donating cars to the women's shelter, they said, "Donate it to us." They don't want the cars because they were getting cars that were broken and they couldn't fix them and they didn't know what to do with them. So now all these 40 nonprofits that we have don't take donated cars. If somebody wants to give them a car, they say, "Go to Fix It Forward and give it to them." They'll fix the car and then give it to one of our clients. So as you start working with these people, not only will they help you raise money, they'll help you find volunteers, but they'll help you get cars too, because they want you to be successful. Because when we went and talked to the women's shelter, we asked them, "Do you even need this?" And they said that transportation was their number one barrier to independence. That's their big problems are housing, which they can fix, childcare, which they can fix, job training, which they can fix, and auto repair, which they can't. Transportation, that's what they need. So they've been insanely supportive and great partners for us for the last 10 years.
Perfect. Definitely. Right. Well, I'm excited. So
awesome.
But like I said, we've done one car like I said last year. We got, I can do another one here in December. So definitely and we want to start our 501c and start doing this stuff. Like I said, we want to do a car a month next year. So
love it. I think that's my goal is to help as many people in shop fix or outside of it, but I don't know that many people outside of it, to launch things like this, because It's so rewarding. It's so impactful in the community. It makes such a big difference, and it'll help your shop too, because it just it creates a whole new sense of purpose for your organization.
Yeah, definitely. We're excited. All right, thank you.
All right, it's great talking to you. Shoot me an email, and I'll send you. I can answer any questions you might come up with later.
Thank you so much, Matt. And I think you answered my question. Can we share this with some of our other clients to pass it around?
Of course. Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah.
You're the man. I appreciate it.
Anything I can do to help with this stuff, I 100% will do it.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you. Right back at you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.